What up, guys? How's it going? You guys are tuned in to the Cosmochoria Friday broadcast. That is where I am going to hang out, chat, work on the game, talk about the game. What game are you asking me about? We're talking about Cosmochoria. This is a game that I have started making last year. We ran a Kickstarter. It was awesome. You guys are awesome. And, yeah. Let's hang out for a couple hours, do some stuff. I think initially I was going to start by just sort of playing the game and showing you guys what I've been working on this past week. There's been some, not necessarily huge updates, but some fairly decent, fun stuff to show off. Yeah, I think it'll be a good chance to give you an idea of what's going on. Let me just get it started here. One of the biggest things that we had going on, actually first let me just say a quick hello to the peeps that are here. Random Rocker, good to see you again. Toshi, right on. Some new faces. Actually, Mazni, I know, thanks for coming down. Wicked, it's gonna be awesome. We're gonna hang out. So yeah, I'm gonna just log into Steam here. One of the biggest things that I've been working on has been a save feature. Currently, or previously, there was no way to continue where you left off, so you had to start every game over. That was originally by design. I was actually originally going to keep it so that it was more of like an Asteroids type game where if you died, you died, and if you wanted to continue, you would have to pause it and leave it on all day, like Super Mario Bros. 3 back in the day. Till I realized that once I started playing it even myself, and I was getting feedback from peeps that are playing it, and games took a long time. Like, you'd be playing for 45 minutes and you only have maybe 10 to 20 planets kind of saved, and yeah, you wouldn't want to lose that. And I can't really I think if a game's going to take you longer than an hour to kind of finish from start to finish, you should maybe have a save feature, because who's got all that time? Who's got all that time in the day? I just want to make sure that I'm actually getting the feed. Can somebody maybe just post something on the chat? The chat seems to have stalled, and I just want to make sure that I'm actually getting the correct information, so that I can get your questions and all that kind of stuff. Maybe I'm just going to load it up in... this other window here. Something. Random Rocker. Right on. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna play some Cosmochoria. And we'll talk about Cosmochoria. Let's just turn this down. Let me just load up my screen. And away we go. As maybe you could tell, I've got Cosmochoria now. It is. How do we set this up here? Okay, awesome. It's now in Steam. We've got the Steam keys sent out to the dev backers from Kickstarter, and that's huge, because running the dev versions, like the alpha versions from Steam, has been a huge time saver, to be able to just sort of update the build, and then it automatically pushes it out to everybody. I don't have to send a notification or anything that there's a new one to download, and it just goes out. And it's wicked, so I can have new features and stuff, and as soon as I've got it ready to go, I just push it and it sends out to everyone. It's wicked. Yo, Pop, how's it going? Yo, Ace of Fire, how's it going? Good to see you guys again. Atoshi, I think the last, what do you call that? Last week, there was a little impromptu thing at the end. I was doing some beatboxing and that kind of thing, just doing some music, making it live. I was after I was done the stream, I was gonna just sort of unwind and do a little bit of a jam just by myself. But I realized the stream was on. May as well just stream it, right? Quality. I don't know if it was. It's kind of weird. Anyway, so Cosmochoria. Here we go. Let's start this game. I'm gonna turn off my picture-in-picture camera so I can just talk, and you're not gonna see me. You won't see me over top of everything. Alrighty. Cosmochoria. So, few features that, the title screen obviously is a little bit different now. We got some options there. It used to be just to be the play button right down here, and then you'd have all your upgrades along the top of the window. Oh, you can't see my mouse. That's okay. Now we've got the options down the side. It just gives me a chance to, as the game gets, more developed, there may be other options and stuff like that. This how to play section will, it'll actually come up with a sort of a graphical representation of how to play. Just like a quick sort of explanation, how you plant the seeds, all that kind of stuff. Just sort of a graphic that gives people an idea so they're not going in completely blind. But I still want to keep it, like, it's not going to be an instruction manual. It's just going to be like like a graphic, how to play. This is your upgrade store. Only when you hit the upgrade store do you see all your gems and your upgrades and stuff that you currently have. I just thought it was a nice way to keep the main title screen a little bit cleaner, a little bit more focused on what you're trying to do. And then obviously you got start new game, shablam, and that's all the same as usual. The one thing that is in the game now as you're playing is when you bring up the menu, you can actually quit. That'll just exit right out of the game, but now there's a quick save option. So you can basically just quick save. Zooms in on your happy little guy, and then you're back on the home screen, and lo and behold, we've got a continue option, so we can basically just jump right back into the game. There's some bugs obviously, but jump right back into the game where we were. So it even works to the point of it's a little bit hard to really tell that was a continuation. So I'm gonna fire some bullets and then quick save. Game saved. Now when I continue, there's my bullets that I just fired. So it's literally a way to it saves and then it bounces you back. So it kind of keeps with my original vision of having the game, so it's like it's meant to be kind of a one sitting kind of game. Pretty much the time that you would use a quick save is, I didn't want to do a save and a load because the whole thing with a save and a load is just knowing from running sort of emulated ROMs and stuff like that, you could cheat really easily. So you save right before you fight a boss, you die, then you just load before the boss again. So I think having the quick save as sort of like just a way to sort of log off and then come back to the game later, as opposed to a full save and load feature, it keeps the original challenge that I wanted, where you do kind of need to go through in one play and like in one sitting. You kind of have one life, and that I want to make sure that that's sort of still integral to the gameplay. You quick save and you just bounce back to the home screen, and then you can actually quit. You quit the game. You can load the game back up. Tomorrow. Pretend this is tomorrow, and you still have the continue option. Load it up, and there's our guy. So yeah, that's the quick save. Good times. Pop is asking, where in God's name is the dev toggle? You guys are family, so if you guys want to get into dev mode, just hit Control D on your keyboard. I figured I wanted to take the dev mode toggle out of the menu because I'm starting to pass the builds to just people who will play the game but who aren't necessarily helping with dev. They're doing like if they're just going to look at it for a review or look at it for various reasons, like a publisher or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, so I took the dev mode out because I just didn't want to A, clutter up the screen because it's not going to be in the final version anyway. There won't be a dev mode there. And then B, I didn't want people accidentally hitting it and then wondering, why keyboard shortcuts or keyboard buttons are bringing bosses to the screen, and so it just kind of takes away the accidental aspect. So yeah, hit Control D, get dev mode. You can still do everything you had before. Dan Rocks, what's up, buddy? Yeah, disable cam spin. So this was obviously a much requested thing. It started, I think the original seeds for this planted when the Yogscast guys were doing their playthrough of the game, and Simon was losing his lunch and all that kind of stuff. So disable cam spin, all that does is basically disable the cam spin. Now everything is 100% static. You can still fly around. Everything's like you're used to doing. But when you get to a planet, it doesn't adjust. So personally, I don't like playing like this. It makes it a little bit tricky because once you're upside down, the controls are backwards. Right becomes left, left becomes right. Once you're upright, obviously left is left and right is right. It's for people with issues with the spinning, with the vertigo. Obviously it doesn't affect my vision. Let me just say that. I think I'm able to offer that as an option, and it may get tweaked and stuff like that as well. But being able to offer that as a possible option for somebody who has an issue with it, I think the game doesn't lose anything. Rabna is asking, does the arrow key sustain its direction if you hold it down, or do you have to switch buttons when you get to the bottom of the planet? So yeah, when you're in the disable cam spin mode, everything maintains, nothing changes. I talked a bit about this in previous streams, and I also did if you check out the Kickstarter page, I did like a full kind of analysis of why I went with the cam version or cam movement that I went with. Basically, the way that this is upside down equals backwards controls. It doesn't auto adjust to flip the controls, because the main reason for that is because once you get to when I did actually flip the controls at one point so that they were, once you got to the bottom of the planet, they were backwards. So in the lower hemisphere, left became left and right became right. I mean, left became right and right became left. So it felt more natural. But then the problem was, as soon as you got to the horizon, if you were a pixel off, you didn't know if you were on the upper horizon or the lower horizon. The game would know because it's down to the pixel, but you wouldn't know. So you'd be thinking you want to go up, but you're actually one pixel into the lower hemisphere, and you'd be pushing left to go up, and you would go down. So it was just a big mess. So this was like so the whole camera movement that I came up with was actually a result of that issue, because originally the game was static like this, and then I tried switching the camera, didn't work. I tried switching the controls, didn't work. It just became more frustrating to play. And then the whole camera spin was sort of the solution after all that, for actually making it seem sort of fluid and natural the whole time you're playing. Let's see, what am I missing here? Dan Rocks, you missed so much. Yeah, I'm glad I figured the static mode is just like a nice option to have if you Oh yeah, Rabna, no worries. The secret thing. Pop, what was the secret thing that I showed you on Skype? There's a few other updates that I made, actually, so I'll wait for Pop to drop that down in the chat, but I'm gonna... there's some other stuff that I've been working on. One is just a fun thing. Maybe I should save the fun thing for later. I'll save the fun thing. Yeah, everything that I'm gonna do on this stream will be safe for children. I may swear occasionally. I really try not to, but especially if I'm playing, it's mostly when I'm playing the game. And oh yeah, the no, actually, Pop, don't give the code, please. Don't give the code, please. I will. It will be. It will be. Well, I'm trying to think here. There's going to be a. As you guys might know, there's going to be characters for the. There's going to be alternate players, alternate characters for the game, and basically, there'll be ways to actually access those alternate characters. You know what, Pop? Go ahead, because it's not even in the the web build. So the only people who are going to have access to this are the people who have Steam keys anyway. So yeah, Pop dropped the code. I completely forgot what it was, actually. So I think if you maybe have to dev mode. Yeah, Pop, give me the code, because I forgot. Oh, there we go. How did I do that? Z. Oh, I hope the stream didn't freeze. Sorry about that, stream, man. So yeah, there's going to be playable characters in the final game, and there'll be ways to get access to these playable characters. This is Simon. If you have the current dev, the dev key, like if you're on Steam and you've got access to the game, you can hit Control-Shift-Z and you'll switch to Simon. That's there you go. That's not going to be in the final game though, so I mean that it'll give you a chance to test them out. That was just, I did it for a nice thing for Pop. He was a dev backer, so he got the Simon Yogscast tier. Anyone who pledged the $25 or higher Kickstarter pledge would have got the Yogscast code anyway, so they get to play as Simon anyway. So this is just an easy way for those people to play as him for now, until I actually have it worked into the game. So yeah, Control-Shift-Z. If you want to switch back, Control-Shift-X will drop you back to your normal guy. Yeah, the final game will be a more secret way, like a code or an unlockable thing for to find him, that only the dev backers, only the Yogscast backers will know. If they choose to share it or share their code with somebody else, it will work. So if you guys want to keep it a secret at that point, once the game's out, it'll be up to you. I'm not gonna say a thing. Okay, so what else do we got here? So we got Simon. Oh, you see there's like a little burst coming off the gun there. That's kind of fun. Just sort of graphical stuff. What do we got here? There was one other thing that I wanted to mention. It'll come to me. This is the main thing. This is the main thing here. Is when you complete a planet. Where's the guy I had to shoot? When you complete a planet by planting seeds on it. Yeah, I think Pop, there will be like in the final game there will be, I'm still figuring out how I'm gonna work it exactly, but there'll be like ways to change your character. Okay, check it out. So the planet just finished. Now the atmosphere turns blue-ish. so it gets a little bit more sky-like. And lo and behold, there's clouds, which are pretty cool. I figure it gives a nice sort of visual representation for the planet. So it's not just the fact that the planet's colorful, that the heart's full, but there's also sky and clouds at the edge of the atmosphere. The other cool thing about the clouds is... Oh, Jesus. The other cool thing about the clouds is you can shoot through them, and it boosts the power of your weapon. So if I'm shooting out here, my bullets are purple. But if I'm actually in the atmosphere shooting out and my bullets pass through the clouds, it changes them white. And if I've got white bullets, that basically means they're going to do, I think it was 150% more, like 1.5 times the damage that it normally would do per bullet. So each bullet does a little bit more. Acorns, yay, me too. I just love the feel of how warm and fuzzy it is to be on a planet now that you've got it completed. And it's going to be, so that one gameplay aspect, you want to shoot through clouds if you're fighting a boss or something like that. But the bosses actually will be weaker with their bullets shooting through. So aliens that shoot through the clouds at you, so if their bullets touch a cloud, their bullets do less damage. So it's sort of like a nice way to sort of give a little bit more emotion to the planet that you're on, the planet that you completed, because it has a purpose. If you're fighting a boss and you've got two planets, you've got two planets right next to each other. One you haven't touched yet, and the other one is full of atmosphere, and you want to land on one planet. Obviously, you're going to want to land on this one with the atmosphere, because then the boss's bullets do less damage. Bobo, so glad that was a surprise for you. Thank you for, you guys are awesome for digging the atmosphere. Starling Crows, I do these every Friday for sure. Every Friday at 1 o'clock Pacific. So this time every Friday, basically. And for those of you who are just tuning in, or I haven't introduced myself properly, my name is Nate. I'm an illustrator, musician, designer, and I guess now I'm a game developer, and I'm making this game. And gonna be chatting about it every Friday. Otoshi, there is a possibility of weather effects, lightning, wind, rain. There's definitely a possibility of that, and it's going to be, if it does happen, it won't be for the core release. There's just too much stuff. I pretty much mapped out everything that I've got to do from now until the game's officially released, based on what happened with the, what functionality is, has been, like, the stretch goals and stuff that we've reached for the Kickstarter and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of have the game, I pretty much know at this point what the game's going to be when it's released. That being said, once it's released, I'm obviously going to keep working on it and keep pouring more into it to give more value to you guys who either back the Kickstarter or who paid for the game, or once it's out, or just make sure that it's an interesting thing that keeps getting better over the next little while. Pop, there will be some cool guns. There will be some cool guns. Starling, thanks so much for checking the stream out, and check you out next Friday. Thank you. Yeah, so the weather, obviously if there was like lightning strikes and stuff like that, it would be a functional thing, so you could get hurt or it could kill enemies. Things would get damaged by lightning. But my son really wanted to see rain. That's the other thing too, is I really have to make sure that anything that I do is what do you say? It doesn't affect the performance too much. Be surprised, it's such a simple 2D game, how processor intensive it can start to get once you have all these particles and stuff involved. And I'm also thinking, I'm learning a little bit about the Wii U, because I know we're going to be doing the Wii U port once the game's kind of done. And yeah, there's certain things just regarding the Wii U that I want to make sure that it's not going to be, the Wii U isn't as powerful as your desktop computer, you know, like from what I'm learning, it might not even be as powerful as a half decent desktop computer because of the methods that we're using to actually get the game on the Wii U. It's using their web framework, so it doesn't have access to certain things like WebGL and all that kind of stuff. So it's gonna cross that bridge when I get to it, but I'm trying to keep a lot of the I'm trying to keep it trim and tight sort of as I go along, so that I don't have to go back and strip a bunch of stuff out once it comes time to do the Wii U stuff. Yeah, so I want to keep it trim and tight, and then gonna get the dev kit this summer, and we'll start to test on the Wii U and make sure that sort of all along the way that it's gonna be working nicely. $10 rocks if you win the lottery and you buy 1 million copies of the game. You know, if you won the lottery, it'd probably be a wiser choice to like invest in the company or something. Acorns EA, I don't know if Acorns EA, let me know if you can play the current web demo. If you can play the web demo, you're pretty much solid for the actual game, I think. That was sort of one of the main reasons why I wanted to have that available. So yeah, let me know if you go to cosmochoria.com, you should, halfway down the page or so, you should see the web demo, like the little browser version. If you can play that and it's smooth, then you're probably pretty good to go. Like your computer will be able to play the full desktop version. Yeah, I think that was everything that it's no spin mode, save, clouds. Yeah. If you guys are tuning in, my name's Nate. I'm the guy making this game. And we're going to do a t-shirt contest because next week we're going to be sending out we're going to be sending out questions to everyone who pledged for a t-shirt through the Kickstarter, and we're going to sort of get what size and what color they want and all that kind of stuff. And so the order for the t-shirts is going to go out probably, you know, in a week or so. And yeah, I wanted to give you guys a chance to, because you're tuned into the stream, give you a chance to actually play. Oh, Acorns EA, what up? Yeah, Jesse. Yeah, if you yeah, I think the main thing, I keep getting sidetracked because I'm watching the chat, and so Jesse, first let me give a huge shout out. Let me give a huge shout out to Jesse, because Jesse and my buddy Chris have been massively helpful in the past week, helping me test kind of like haphazardly. Like they've been really patient and cool with me, because, you know, I make one little change and then ask them to try it out. Make one little change and ask them to try it out. Sometimes it's hard to test stuff when you're not getting the problem yourself, because obviously you're not getting the problem. If I can't recreate it on my end, any change that I make, I have no idea if it worked or not unless I actually check with the person. So there was some issues. There were some issues with the game not basically loading with WebGL, which is like a sort of a accelerated, like a software. I think it's like a software. It's like using your graphics card more than a software rendering. I don't fully understand it. I just do it. So WebGL was not working for Jesse and my buddy Chris, and I'm assuming other people as well. And yet it would work in their Chrome browser or their Firefox browser or whatever. So I just needed to figure out a way to actually get it enabled for them, because when they loaded up the full, the actual application version from Steam, it wasn't using WebGL, so it was just using the 2D canvas or Canvas 2D, and And yeah, it was like lower frames per second. The game wasn't moving as quickly. A lot of the effects that I've got where it's coloring like the UFOs. See all the UFOs are like different colors. Stuff like that is all because of WebGL. I only need to have one UFO sprite, so I just have one graphic in the game, and then I color it with WebGL. I can change the hue of it so it actually looks different, and I can do that with the UFOs, but also with the aliens, also with the planets. I just need to have one planet graphic for each type of planet, and then the other things where I made a mess for myself. There we go. Okay, so the planets, they start off grayish, they start off dead and empty. The plants also have effects on them that changes the color randomly when they plant. The planets themselves change color. So it's just a way to sort of have a better variety of graphics in the game without actually having to rely on additional graphics, because each one of those additional graphics would actually take up more memory. It would slow the game down. It would take longer to load. It would, the more I can do that's sort of on the fly like that. So that whole planet getting colorful as it goes, that's WebGL. And yeah, so yeah, I made a mess. Oh, the other thing that I forgot to mention, there's bigger planets now. That was the thing that I wanted to mention. There's bigger planets. Sometimes huge planets, which is a massive thing because it adds a lot. It adds a lot to the game, like how it feels. There's more variety. Certain planet sizes have different strategies, where if you're on a small planet, your bullets don't travel as far because they get sent off into space sooner. Big planets, you can actually shoot a longer distance to get at enemies, and yeah, it's just the bigger planet requires more plants, so therefore it takes a little bit longer. You're on the planet for a little bit longer, so you might become more attached to it. You can build more bases for it. It becomes more of like a home base kind of thing. Because it requires more plants and because it's bigger, it actually has a bigger health tank, so it will fill you up more when you're on it. Yeah, just a bunch of sort of gameplay stuff that sort of just naturally came by having bigger planets. That, I don't know, just really seemed to fit the game and the feel really well. Okay, what else do we got? What was I talking about? The contest, I think, right? The contest. There's a contest to win some t-shirts, or to win a t-shirt. And the contest is fairly simple. It's for the live stream, peeps who are on the live stream. It's 1:36 right now. I'm going to be going till 3. So between now and 3 o'clock, when I'm done the live stream, I need you guys to tell me. This is the contest. So pay attention. There were updates that I made throughout the course of the Kickstarter campaign. So like every few days, a couple times a week kind of thing, I made updates to the Kickstarter campaign just to announce new things about the campaign, or, add-ons, or just whatever. So I made a bunch of updates to the Kickstarter campaign. Each one of those updates started off with, let me just make sure I'm not talking nonsense here. There's a certain pattern that I used for all the Kickstarter updates that happened throughout the duration of the campaign. There was a pattern. Let's see here. So I'm not going to say exactly how many. No, yeah, I can say that because that's not going to change anything. I'll tell you what So if you go to Kickstarter, search for Cosmochoria, and you'll get the page. Click on updates. So you'll see that there's 20 updates in total, and then there's a whole bunch of updates that happened during the campaign, and they each start with day and then a number. So it would have been like, day 1, day 2, day 5, day 9. As I went through the campaign, all the way up until day. The fact this is taking so long, you guys can kind of prepare yourselves for this contest. You guys want to be on the Kickstarter page. Day 35? Was that the last one? Day 35 or 36? Let's see. Day 36 was the last one. So page 1, day 36, all the way back to the last page, I think page 4, day 1. All had something in common, except for day 1. Day 1 is the only exception to this contest. Every other day from 2 to day 36 had something in common. What was that? The first person who can tell me. And then Acorns Yay dropped it. So yeah, they're all song titles by Boards of Canada. So that was the contest. Acorns Yay dropped the answer, so Acorns Yay gets a t-shirt. What up? Good job. Sweet. Okay, so yeah, I'm super glad that was I wish that took a little longer. I had this fantasy that you guys would be sort of digging around trying to figure out the correlation of what those update titles were. But there you go. It's funny because every time I did an update, I went through. Every time I did an update, I went through the Boards of Canada discography and basically found like a song name that worked well with what I was going to be posting about. So it was sort of like a little bit of a metaphor that went along with my feelings of the campaign, or how I felt, or what the content of the update was. If it was about. I think there was one about like the spinning, when I did the whole talk about the spinning and how I sort of did that. I think it was called, I think the song name was like Gyration or something like that. No, Acorns Yay, you did not ruin it. You got the answer. So let's let's leave it at that. Thank you so much. No, Pop, you can definitely buy a t-shirt. I posted an update to the Kickstarter today, and just let people know that there's going to be two options if you want to buy a t-shirt. One is if you want the Kickstarter exclusive t-shirt, and the Kickstarter exclusive t-shirt is going to be roughly the same design, but it's going to come on colors other than the standard colors, which will be white and light blue. Once I get some money to actually get some shirts made, I'll have white shirts and light blue shirts with like I think the white shirts will be I'm just laughing at the chat. So the white shirts will have, I think, a red band on them. These are the standard shirts. These are the ones that will be available after for order. I think it'll be like $30. White with a white band on them, and a light blue shirt with a dark blue band around and when I say band, I mean like around the sleeves, like a short sleeve shirt with a band around the sleeves, and also a band around the neck collar. So Pop, oh, look at that, diamonds. What a good chance to. So no, Pop, if your tier is $40, the actual t-shirt tier on Kickstarter was $60, because that covers, because you're getting the game, you're getting the shirt, and you're getting the shipping So that kind of it was all sort of bundled in one tier for $60. But your tier is $40, but that came with the game. It came with a cartoon version of you, and early access and all that kind of stuff. So if you wanted a shirt, you'd have to add an additional. There's two ways you could do it. You could either get the shirt tier and then pay the extra amount to get the cartoon, or get the cartoon tier and pay the extra amount to get the shirt. So your tier was early access, cartoon, and the game. Good times. I like how that contest went. It was wicked. So the shirts. So the standard shirts were white with the red, and then or blue with the light blue with the dark blue. So those will be available from the site after, once, give it a month kind of thing. In the meantime, these Kickstarter shirts, you can choose one of those standard colors if you like it, but there's also going to be some additional colors like red shirts with black bands, or just various colors. And basically, if you pledged for the shirt tier, or if you pre-order the shirt, or if you pledge now for the shirt, basically I'm taking pledges for the Kickstarter shirts up until next Wednesday.